suck at these. We got the Juno Backwoods. This model is a 27 with a 1/2 ounce end load. This is the new UTH 47 handle. She's coming in at about 315. I knew this was going to be the struggle. Come on, Juno. You can do better. Oh, there we go. Time to see how JoJo Bennett's living.
Wyatt Ahart, OG Shithead, Juno Backwoods. Alright, mother truckers, BP Hero checking back in. 2023 Juno Backwoods USSSA model. Big thanks to this review goes out to the leadoff guy here, our guy Luke Ahart, back at Atkins Park here in Columbia, where it's 300 feet all the way around with a monster in left field. About a 70-degree day. Wind swirling around just a little bit, not really enough to be a factor for anything. And we're hitting our usual mix of BP rockets and Pro M's that we hit for these U-Trip bats. This thing was brand new in the wrapper when we got started, and it is a 27.5, has a 1/2 ounce of end load. And honestly, I didn't feel like it swung true to weight, and the only reason being is that the end load was a little bit on the heavier side, but it's so smooth to get through the zone that it doesn't really matter. But I didn't want it to go unmentioned. If you're familiar with the progressive loads that the Eastons used to do, how smooth they used to be, this reminded me a lot of that. You get a lot of benefit out of the mass of the end load, but it's so easy to control. They did a really good job of loading these. It is a 2-piece bat and features the UTH 47 handle, which is a legal handle, and it is definitely stiff for a 2-piece bat. It's much stiffer and could possibly be not much fun to hit if it was much stiffer, but Juno did a good job of making the handle just rigid enough without going too far. This one features a 12-inch barrel, and even at the very low swing count when I got it, I was pleasantly surprised when I realized how forgiving the barrel was for being a 12-inch, especially considering the factors that it started at 315 on the compression tester, and it had a super stiff handle. Usually those could be 2 recipes for burning your hands quite a bit until the bat gets loosened up. It even sounded extremely tight to start with, but off the good part of the barrel, it still performed okay, and it was really easy to live on the sweet spot because of how easy it was to hit. And as it broke in and the barrel really started to loosen up, the sound changed and the sweet spot grew, and it became even easier to barrel stuff up. It still maintained the stiffness, but damn near the whole barrel was responsive and provided good performance by the time I got to it for my last bit of swings you'll see in the video here. And here's just a quick picture of this thing on the compression tester. So Luke and Wyatt brought this to us, and we threw it straight on the compression tester and saw it come in at 315. We all put a round on it, so it ended up with about 100 swings on it, and it was down to 295, and I forgot to get a picture of that naturally. But as we started our second round, and I was kind of wondering if it was going to loosen up or it was going to need a ton more swings. Towards the end of my second round, I noticed that it was starting to respond a little bit better, and the sound was starting to change. And then about halfway through Brian's second round, it finally hit that next level we were looking for. When we got all finished up on this day and we threw it back on the tester, and it came in at 275, and even all that considered, the performance we were seeing still told me this thing was good, and it's only going to get better as time went on. The barrels on this year's Juno Tech are supposed to break in and come down slowly, instead of taking the wrapper off and breathing on it, and then it's spinning 1,000 swings at 160. This review was a good indication that they're at least going to hold up for a little while, so that's good to know. So what's our conclusion of this bat? Well, this was probably one of the easiest 12-inch barrels that I've swung in a while, especially attached to a very stiff handle. Combining that barrel with probably my favorite part of this bat, which was the end load, it made hitting the ball pretty hard, easy to do. The end load definitely let you know it was there, but once you got it moving, all you had to do was find the ball with the barrel, and the loading and the bat did the rest. I was maybe 5 swings into my initial round, and I looked up at Brian and said, this is a good ball striker's dream bat. You don't have to swing hard. You just have to get it moving and get it through the ball, and it'll do the rest for you. I was glad we got to get a good number of swings on this one too. Based on how it felt going from my first into the second round, I could tell that it was on the verge of hitting that gamer status within 50 or so more swings after I finished my round. And Makai put his rounds on it, and Brian started his, and you hear him make the comment about it being game ready, and it was on. He wanted me to be able to see what he was talking about, so he let me finish up with this thing, and he was definitely right. The tight feel was still there, but it didn't matter because it was almost impossible to miss with. About the only place you couldn't hit a ball and think to yourself, man, that sucked, was down towards the hands. The sound got deeper, it turned to more of a crack, and the balls were just roaring off of this thing. Even at 275 compression, I can boldly say this was for sure a gamer-worthy bat, and it's only going to get better. We had some kids rolling on the field, so we had to cut it short because I had a good feeling that this thing was about to be a ton of fun. But all things considered, I did like this bat. I can feel good about recommending this to someone if they were in the market for a U-Trip bat. Any bat that can perform this well and stand up to some BP and still pass compression is going to score some extra points in my book too, because I've said it for years, and I'll continue to. A little BP never hurt anybody. So thanks to Luke for picking this thing up so we could get a review on it. Really appreciate that. Thanks to Wyatt and Micaiah, new faces on the channel, for coming out and hitting with us. Thanks to Brian for supplying them biscuits. Thanks to you guys for checking out the video. Be sure to go down and subscribe below so we can catch you hit it. BP Hero, catch you next time.